Alright, hey everyone. I just wanted to go over some of the basics of working with Reaper. A lot of what I say can be applied to any digital audio workstation that you're working with or DAW. But I personally prefer to use Reaper for a couple of reasons. The first one is that when I was taking my digital recording class, I got to work with all the digital workstations that they had in the computer labs here at school, and I found that Reaper was the one that was the easiest to use and offered the most at the same time. It's pretty much the most user-friendly one in my opinion. The second one is that it can be used on both Mac and PC. So I personally prefer to work on a PC. I know a lot of people have Macs, but it doesn't matter because it can be used on both. The third one is that it's pretty dang cheap. It's only $60 for lifetime updates, which is a lot cheaper than a lot of textbooks that we have to purchase. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about how to record. So once you open up Reaper, this is your project window. This is where you'll be working, editing your audio, recording. If you go over to the left side over here and right click, insert new track, this is where you're going to be recording your audio is on tracks. You can also add tracks by going up to the top, clicking track, then insert new track. And if for some reason you want to remove a track, just right click, click remove, or you can highlight the one you want and then click delete on your keyboard. That'll also get rid of that. All right, so once you have your track, the next thing you need to do is go over to this little red circle over here. Then that sets up the track and basically tells it, I'm going to record my audio on this track. So you click that and hey, look at that. You see this little bar moving. So it's picking up my voice. If for some reason you don't have this and the bars aren't moving, that most times means that your program or Reaper is not picking up your microphone or your audio box that you're working with. So you need to tell it to do that. So go up to the top, click Options, go down to Preferences, and when you open it up, it should default to being open to the device window. If not, click Device. It's not going to show me right now, but when you open it up, it should have two drop-down boxes. One says Input, one says Output. And if for some reason you're not getting your audio over here, a lot of times it's because this input box is not set to the right setting. You click it and just select whatever device you're working with, your microphone, your audio box, and once you do that, you should be good to go after you hit apply and OK. And once you do that, you should see these bars moving over here. If not, you got something really weird going on, but most times, like 9 times out of 10, that's the problem, and that should solve it. So once you have that set up, your track is armed and ready to record, then you go down and hit the big red button, and that will now, hey, look at that, it's recording. So let that go. Whenever you're done with your recording, hit stop, and then it pulls up this window that tells you if you'd like to save it or not. I recommend saving. So, and another thing I recommend is being organized with how you save. So when you save your audio, make sure you label it clearly, and you know exactly what it is. So like Roshu 13 take 1 or take 2, like that. It'll save you a lot of pain later of having to sift through a bunch of like randomly named tracks and files trying to figure out where was that really good take at. So when you are done recording, make sure you click on your audio and then hit rename. And another helpful tip when it comes to saving and keeping stuff organized is make sure everything's in like the same folder. So if I were to save this audio file in a new folder, let's rename it, let's just call it Studio. So I'm about to save this audio file in Studio. Let's rename it, let's name it Test. So click that, see it renames it, and then you just hit Save All. That now saved whatever I just recorded to that folder, and I really recommend when you are working with your tracks to save your project in the same file that your audio is in. That way it's all in one folder, so if you ever needed to move everything, it's all in one spot. So after that, just a couple helpful tips that I wanted to throw your way is you want to make sure your levels are really good when you're recording. So as you can see, my bar is pretty high up. For when you're playing trombone, you have to be really careful because it's really loud. My voice is pretty soft compared to my trombone. A general rule of thumb is you want to make sure that your loudest sounds are going to be between -18 and -6 decibels. That's where you're going to get your really good quality recordings. If you're ever getting like where the bars like hit the top and you get this big red light down here or up here, that means that you're clipping, and that means you're overloading the microphone, you're overloading the audio box, and that's not good. That's going to do damage to it over time if you keep doing that. So you want to avoid clipping at all times if you can. If you find that you're clipping a lot, you want to turn the gain down on your microphone or your audio box, and that will decrease the amount of signal that it is receiving. So between -16 and -18, make sure you're never clipping. That's bad. So that's kind of just a general overview of how to record yourself on Reaper. Oh, the other thing Prof wanted me to talk about is how to record yourself and play with yourself as well once you record yourself. So as you can see, I have the words I just spoke a minute ago. If I wanted to, for some reason, talk over myself, or for you, if you wanted to play your etude over yourself, first thing is make sure you unarm the track that you just recorded on. That way you're not recording to the same track. You want a new track, and that goes underneath the one you just did. Arm that one for recording, and if I were to record again, it would record on this track, and the audio would also be playing back on this track at the same time. If for some reason you don't want to hear whatever the other tracks have to say, make sure you mute them, and that way when you're recording or you're hitting play, you're not going to hear this track and it's not going to interfere with whatever you're recording on the next track. Another way of doing that, underneath it you see there's a button that says S, that means solo. All that means is that when you click solo on a track, is that it mutes all other tracks besides the one that's soloed. Go figure. But that should cover everything, just everything that you need to know to start off. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or anyone else that has any experience with DAWs, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys an overview of how to work Reaper. So, thanks.